DizzyPunch. Hello and welcome to the GM Bus Stop, where I summon people to keep me company while I wait for my bus. I'm Nick, your host for this series, and here with me today is the GM and creator for the Bard Shot series, Nomadic Bard, aka Luke Hall. Woo!
Thank you very much for having me.
Thank you so much for taking the time to chat with me.
Absolutely.
Yeah, thank you again so much. You just finished the live stream, which is just very kind of you to like have the energy to keep doing this.
I'm a sucker for. I've also played like 4 TTRPGs this week of different systems, so my brain is frazzled with dice rolls and card draws and all that kind of stuff. So I'm sure we'll be fine though.
Well, you say that, but we're gonna have a mini game later, so we'll see.
No, yeah.
All right. Nomadic Bard, where'd that come from as a username?
It's a really good question. I don't think anyone's ever asked me either. Bard, naturally, because of being sort of a storyteller in general. I used it before I was doing massive TTRPG stuff. So Bard has always been. I also I don't live far from where Shakespeare lived, supposedly, Stratford-upon-Avon. So Bard has always been kind of close to home in a weird way. So, however, I don't play a lot of Bards in D&D, so I need to reconsider that. The nomadic bit was, again, sort of something that I've always just sort of felt close to, of never quite having one place, settling down, moving around, and that kind of, I think, fits with my general vibe in terms of I don't settle in one system to make it really overly intelligent. I don't settle in one system. I move from game to game. Is kind of where it's come from. So yeah, if you want an over intellectualized answer, that's what it is.
No, it's cool. It's awesome. It's awesome. You know, my name for online is just Nick, so it's fun to hear people's reasoning for everything. You know.
Yeah.
It's I don't know.
It is good fun. Yeah, I do like learning about stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah, you know, a lot of people in the TTRPG spaces just use Bard as kind of their like stand-in for like what they would be, because you know, I do think in Bards it's more catered to the fact of like music than it is catered to like storytelling in a way. So I don't know whether or not I would consider myself to be a bard if I ever decide to be a class.
The ironic thing is I mostly play melee classes when I'm a player, so I'm all about storytelling and lore and all of that. When I'm the DM directly, I have to play. It's like, no, I want to play a low intelligence character that doesn't do anything besides hit things. It's crazy, really.
Yeah, no, but that makes complete sense though, because let's say like if I was a wizard, I'm like, I'm gonna play a wizard of the game. No, I'm gonna play something completely different. Why would I want to pretend to be myself every day?
That's true, actually. Yeah, it's a really good point. I think also I'm just always so full of my own like lore of my campaigns or the games that I'm doing and stuff that I'm like in a little bit of a cheat, I guess, where I'm like, well, if I'm not highly intelligent, I will pay attention to the game going on, but I don't have to remember every single detail because my character wouldn't. So it's a bit of a get out of jail free card as well, right?
Absolutely. You gotta game the system.
Yeah.
Surely, but we just slightly mentioned Bard Shots. What is Bard Shots? Bard Shots is a storytelling stage for one-shot TTRPGs. Every episode brings a new cast, a new system, and a new tale told in a single sitting. I think the premise of the show is just so fun, and it fits really well in a live stream format. What made you want to make RPG content?
Well, firstly, thank you, and you described it way better than I would have, so I appreciate that massively. I wanted to get into TTRPG content in general because I'm a huge lover, a nerd of TTRPGs. I mean, D&D obviously is the what I got into originally, as I think most of us probably have, and sort of saw me through. And then I'd started a few years back a stream of my sort of home campaign, and it ended up falling apart a little bit because of the group, and you know, streams would get put off because of scheduling issues, all the standard BBEG for most TTRPG players. So this year when I was like, I want to get back into doing some streaming bits and some proper like AP content again, my main thing was I wanted to do it with rotating cast members to pull in various amazing people I've met over sort of the TTRPG scene on social media. Quite a few of them your guests, I think, as well, to be honest. If they're not already been in a show, they are upcoming in shows, so I know a couple of them. But I also wanted to be selfish in making the content, which is I have so many there's so many one shots and other systems that I want to play, and this was a great excuse to get to play them all because I would have a group of people that I knew were interested in playing various TTRPGs, because it can be hard sometimes to get your group or your regular group to want to play something different than their sort of normal campaign, or at least in my experience at times. And so it was a way to, showcase various sort of AP performers that I knew and have grown close to through sort of TTRPG content, and play great systems, play indie systems coming up as well. So we've had a few Kickstarter systems that we've played. And equally, I would just get to GM and or play in some really cool games that I've wanted to do for a while. So that's it, really.
Yeah, it's a very smart way of doing it. You know, the biggest issue with live streams as a whole is the fact that you can't just jump in to a regular RPG game because you're like, okay, I missed one episode. I can't really stay with the group too much, you know. But this having one shots just be like different every time and a different crew. It just helps people just be like, yeah, I could spend some time with this, just have this in the background or something. So it's the one of the smart ways of counteracting that little issue.
Yeah, definitely. And I think we all know what it can be like if you get recommended an actual play, and then you look and it's like episodes are sort of, I mean, I'm not saying because my episodes are 3 hours long on the main show, but they're sort of 3-4 hours long. If you've got to catch up, that's like, 500 hours of content on some of them when they've got a few hundred episodes. It can be quite daunting, I think. So this felt very much like you can drop in as and when you want. If it's not a genre you like this time because you don't like horror, next time we might be playing sort of more of an action one or a comedy one. And so you can kind of come in when and if you want to, really. I mean, the hope is that you love the storytelling and that you come back again and again and watch to find different systems. But equally, as sort of the audience, you can go, actually, I've been interested in playing, 10 Candles. Let's watch how they do it and then see if we want to play it. So yeah, it's worked well so far. I'll say that.
Yeah, and absolutely. And I think going back to the different systems you guys play, that's a dream for most people. I know people who would love every day to just change systems and try something new every time. A creator called Kylie Rose who does Dicescape, she talks about like every time she can, she'll talk about a new system and wanting to play it. And I admire those people, but I'm also like, for myself personally, I'm like, like Kids on Bikes is fun. It's a good system. It's simple. But yeah, I do see the appeal of a lot of people wanting to just try different things out. Dagger Hard is out there, and I think it's all the rage nowadays. We mentioned Gothica. It's a new Kickstarter you guys can go check out.
Yeah. Big shout out to Elliot or Inkblade Publishing. But I mean, that was the first one I kicked off with because I love Elliot, to be honest. And so, and I'd been wanting to play it properly for a while because it was exactly my vibe of the Victorian Gothic vibe. So the minute I knew I was going to do the show, I was like, Elliot, I need to play your game. I need to do this one. And obviously he had the Kickstarter coming up, which is obviously successful. So that's great. Yeah. So it was absolutely I had to go and do it.
Yeah, I'm so glad for his success. There's such an uproar of success as well. My goodness, well deserved. Ah, it's a little good feeling in your heart.
Felt like a proud parent.
I know that guy.
Yeah, I know that guy. Yeah. Look at him go. Yeah.
Yeah, within these systems that either gives you a story to follow or allows you to create your own journey for your players, what's some of your favorite ways to subvert expectations?
Oh, that's a really good question. I think some of what I like to do, and particularly, and some systems set you up for this. Some of them, you can decide to do it whether you're not as a GM, but a lot of the things I like to do is put the narrative back on the players a lot. So one of my favorite games of all time, and I've already mentioned it, but it's 10 Candles, because it is a bit of you roll your dice to get narrative control from each other. That's the point, really. And so I've definitely, when I've sort of played that and then GM'd it a few times now, I've started taking on some of that of actually, if there is a success, you tell me what happens. Like you can, especially if it's like in that 20 on D&D and stuff like that, you tell me what happens. It can be wild. I will make it work. That's my point as a GM, really. Plus, I come from a bit of an improv background, so I will yes and most things, unfortunately, for me, not for the players. But I think giving that control over, because I think sometimes there can be a bit of an expectation that the GM is in control, which is wildly inaccurate, to be honest, in general. But generally in terms of the story, what's going on, who the NPCs are that are coming up to people, it can be, it puts a lot of prep on you as a GM, obviously, but it can also be expected that it's the GM. Whereas I think there is something around going, no, you recognise this person. Who is it? And it can be a bit of a shock to players at first, and it can subvert their expectations. But it brings them into the world, right? It's collaboration from the get go. They get to have some autonomy and buy-in. I think that's how I tend to find it. And so, particularly during these one shots, I do it in campaigns too, but particularly during the one shots, having players have agency over who these NPCs are sometimes, and what's going to happen. It helps me. It helps them. I think it can be more engaging to watch too, from an actual play point of view. So yeah, that's probably the biggest way I like to do it, really.
Yeah, that's completely fair. And I think the idea of giving your players just the leeway to like tell their story within your story is the funnest part about the game. Something I learned when I watched Dimension 20 like many years ago is that what Brendan Lee Mulligan likes to do a lot of times, he just likes to ask people, where is your character at this moment? And then they can paint the picture of like where they live, what they do, who they are. And whenever I play one shots or like any RPG, I like to say like, okay, where's your character at this time and how would you describe them? And that not only does that like help me figure out how to tell this story, but it helps like inform the people listening of like, oh, this is who this person is.
Yeah, because it could be so hard to get backstory across, right, in a one shot. Like that's the biggest challenge sometimes. Of you want to make a character. In terms of making characters, and a lot of the people that I'm fortunate enough to come on the show are really like experts at making their characters, right? They for anything, and they will perform them perfectly, but you don't always get that remit of why they might do a certain action, what informs their decisions, what shaped them. And so sometimes like Brennan does, and like you say, having that moment where they can describe where they're starting off from or what they're doing in any given moment, I think absolutely could just give you a bit of an insight or a snapshot where normally you won't get a full character arc in a one shot because it's impossible to in most circumstances, but it at least enables chances for you to get a glimpse into the sort of wider story or the backstory of these people.
Yeah. A really fun moment. I was watching the Gothica Plague World one shot he had done, and there's a scene where like you had Elliot roll like insight on a train attendant, and the assumption was that he was going to see something nefarious, but instead it's the realization that the attendant did not appreciate the magpie feather as a tip.
Yeah, I feel bad because I think Connor after it was like, you did that just to bully him, and it's like, I didn't bully him. I wasn't bullying him. It was just he gave this like high-to-do train attendant a feather, and the guy's like, wait, what? This isn't a tip. But yeah, I do like to do things like that. I mean, I'm a sucker for putting a bit in, or just a bit of levity, particularly in what can be some quite dark tales at times. I think you've got to have a little bit of lightheartedness. It was. Elliot was a champ to run with that. To be fair, he's fab though. He gets a lot of chaos, I know, from his group when he does his It's Your Role show. So it's always good to give him a chance to be a player, one, but then emotionally torment him too, of course.
Yeah, if he it's like, but I rolled high enough. It doesn't. If you rolled low, then you wouldn't have noticed.
You wouldn't have sinned. Yeah, you wouldn't have sinned. Exactly. Yeah. Sometimes you don't want to succeed on a roll, right?
Yeah, and that's how you subvert expectations, everyone.
Yeah, maybe that's the example I should have given. You had a much better answer for me than I did. But yeah, absolutely, which is punish people for rolling high sometimes because, they need it.
Great.
When that moment comes back into my mind, I forget it sometimes, but yeah, occasionally I'll go on my own TikTok to check things out, and then I see it and I'm like, oh yeah, that was a good moment.
Yeah. It's online. You can see it forever. His reaction's there.
Yeah. Oh dear.
Oh, lovely. As you can see by my side, I have a magical vending machine which can summon any drink or snack at my disposal. What is your go-to snack or beverage whenever playing D&D at home?
Oh, I mean, drink-wise, it tends to be a Pepsi Max, if I'm honest. I always have to have some kind of caffeine, but I try not to have too much sugar just so I don't go completely crazy, or more so than normal anyway. Snack-wise, I don't snack a lot during games. I will say I'm the anti-Brennanly Mulligan for that. I tend to make sure I've had some kind of meal beforehand, and then will move on in general. However, in terms of snacks that I just love in general, if we're going there, I at least in the UK, there's a chocolate brand called Galaxy, and I had some of their vegan salted caramel chocolate bar the other day, and it was so good, and it has become my favorite snack right now. So
Lovely. Oh man. But Pepsi Max, good. Sure.
Yeah, it's all right. I mean, it does the job. It keeps me going a little bit. That and I have got ADHD, so I normally have about 3 or 4 drinks around me. So there's normally some kind of hot beverage, water that I ignore mostly, and then some kind of caffeinated drink. So yeah, it just depends on the moment, really.
No, truly. I mean, like, I had to change this question a lot because every time I had said this, people were like, well, I don't really drink or eat anything when I'm recording stuff, but like, I know that's why I said what the question says, but that's not what I'm wanting from you right now.
Yeah. Yeah, of course. Yeah.
But
do you have a favorite go-to snack? When you're playing, or
when I'm playing, certainly like gay candy. Certainly, that's something that like I bring to the table a lot of times, and my GM just takes away from me. He just eats. He's just behind his little screen, and he just goes like, "So you guys enter."
That's exactly why I don't eat, particularly recording, but in GMing in general. Because the last thing I need is that. But hey, I mean, fair play. You should be feeding your DMs, guys. Like,
truly,
they do a lot of work. They need snacks.
Oh, lovely. Speaking about snacks, we have the portion of the healthy portion of today, the healthy notice. So every time these little podcasts, I always like to give little healthy snacks that could benefit people, just in general, because eat good, live longer, all that jazz. I've personally been on very big of a chai kick.
I love chai.
Yeah, chai's great. Chai has the same health benefits of black tea, which essentially is black tea, with the added spice benefits of cardamom and cinnamon. Overall, chai compared to coffee has lower caffeine, calories, and sugar, while also promoting more gut health. So, if y'all want to stop doing coffee, you can get some chai.
I adore chai. That is normally the hot drink that's next to me, but I probably should be drinking that more than the Pepsi Max, to be honest. So I will take your health benefit in my stead and carry it on.
There was a time where someone was like, "Please tell me more, give me more advice," and I was like, "Okay."
Give me all the facts, right?
Yeah, I will say this right now. I'm not a nutritionist of any kind. I don't have a doctorate. I have not. I don't have any like medical degrees that could help inform people of what they can and cannot drink or eat in that matter. I just try to read some health documents just to keep myself updated. I also just try not to give it has CO2 not CO2 levels. It has like some glycogen in it that's not good for you, but like I can't tell you, like, I don't even know what the chemical composition of glycogen is. So how can I explain to whether or not that's good or bad for you? You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. Do your own research, guys. Like, fact check. Go away and check things that aren't AI as well. That will give you false information too.
Don't just look at Google AI and then just be like, "We're done here."
Oh yeah. Yeah, but no, it's a good thing to do though. It's a good thing to try and help people where you can. But yeah, absolutely, go and do your own research if it helps you or not, and if you need to speak to GPs about anything too, because not everything works with medication and stuff, right? So yeah.
Do not contact me being like, can you be my health coach? I am not equipped for this. I love you. Get some help.
Get in line. There's a few of us that want you. Yeah.
I can't be your life coach either because I don't think I have my own life intact enough to be able to tell people what to do.
Yeah, tell me about it, honestly. Yeah.
In your start playing profile, one of your featured prompts is, if my games were movies, they'd be directed by Guillermo del Toro or Mike Flanagan. How much have these directors and the horror genre as a whole affected your storytelling?
God, wow, you really pulled deep for this. You really did your research. Wow,
this is my fucking job, dog.
I know it is, but you know, I've not had someone interview. I'm used to Connor at How to Play D&D, who just bullies me incessantly. So it's I'm going to tell him to come and watch your podcast to see how it's done. No, big love to Connor, of course. Ironically, I've been speaking about both of these directors today, so that's a weird moment in my life. They have influenced me massively. So I think horror, particularly gothic horror, is a huge influence on me. I've sort of spoken about it in terms of Gothica. I mean, the live show that we did today was a Modern Prometheus, which is a 2-player TTRPG based on Frankenstein. And I have to keep stopping myself from just doing horror games on Bard Shots, because I would do all the horror games I could if I had the chance. But I do want to show a breadth of work. But they've influenced me massively. So I love a lot of the shows that Mike Flanagan does. For example, he tends to do works based off books that I adore. So The Haunting of Hill House, The House of Usher, Fall of the House of Usher. And I think just being able to see how people set tone, particularly over a series. I think series can be hard to maintain that sort of horror genre, the tension that you need, as well as diving into the emotional depths at times, because it's not just all about, ghosts or things kind of invading your mind. It's also about those tense moments that you have between characters, and showing the emotional depth and range of people. And I've always taken that on board, and a lot of the games that I do, my players like to say that I traumatize them emotionally, because I like to take that on. The point is, you're playing a person that's going about for them, a real world. Obviously, with lines and veils and what people want to do. I would never put anyone in a situation they don't want to be in. They do all sign up for it. But to explore some of those methods, I mean, we put a lot of ourselves into our characters too, right? So you generally you're exploring a part of your psyche or a part of yourself, and I want to do that to the maximum effect in a safe environment where people can say, this isn't feeling comfortable anymore, or they want more of it. So I do like doing that. And I think for Del Toro specifically, one of the things that I love in his works, and ironically, because we are going to be doing a campaign in Bard Shots up and coming, which will use a little bit of inspiration from him. So it's timely that this is said, to be honest. But is one of the things I love that he does really well, which is take a something traumatic in a world and show it through the lens of children. So in Pan's Labyrinth, in The Devil's Backbone, which is a much older, deeper cut of his work, but if you know it, good for you. You're seeing kids experiencing like the World Wars or the Spanish Civil War, and how they make sense of that is through these sort of fantasy worlds that they build, and how they sort of visualize and go about the world, and how they attach things to it. So, I mean, in some respects, to take a modern show like Stranger Things, the kids rationalize what's happening to them through the fact that they play D&D, right? And they everything that they go through has a reference to D&D, whether it is correct for the time of the show or not. And I love that idea of it, and trying to rationalize it in your own ways. And so the campaign that we will be doing and kicking off in a few months at least, is taking a little bit of that. It's not so much horror, though, I will say that, but it is taking that thing of how a group of young people can rationalize something quite strange or mysterious going on around them through the lens of a fantasy game that they love and adore. So they've been huge inspirations, will continue to be for a very long time, as will horror in general, just because there's some phenomenal storytelling that I've seen over the many years of being a fan of the horror genre that I will always take on board and bleed into my games, I'm sure.
Yeah, that's a really. I was thinking. I think everything you said is just really great, and I think one of the things that I like stuck in my mind that I kind of like. Oh, wait, you're right. Actually, holy shit, was that how Guillermo del Toro often uses the children as kind of narrative devices in their films? Because like I was thinking of like Kronos. I was thinking of like. Yeah. That's like literally one of his like first films he's done. That a lot of like. The scenes where his granddaughter just like looking at like the monster he had become, and that's very heartbreaking in a sense. And like the looking through things at the mind of a child is like the simplicity behind it. Like even Frankenstein, for example, where it's like he is a child, and us looking through him, he sees the world in a way that's just like very broken down, like, and that's how like a child would see it.
Yeah, exactly. I was going to make exactly the same comparison with Frankenstein, which is that you're seeing this creature that has just come to life. So yeah, is a child is a child in mindset in that time at least. But yeah, I mean those scenes where he's sort of in the forest for the first time, seeing sort of flora and fauna, and there's just a childlike wonder to him. Also, while something horrible is going on. And you see the way that the world shapes him then into sort of what he sort of becomes at the end. But yeah, it's a storytelling device that I've loved for many years. And obviously Stephen King does it too. It could be quite a if you do it well, it's a really good way to tell stories through this. And I think I've seen Del Toro grow in terms of using his creatures in that same way. So I think even like something like Shape of Water, the creature feels quite new and childlike to some degrees. Not in all of the scenes, just to clarify, but at least at the beginning it does. So he's he's a phenomenal director. Kronos is also one of my favorites.
Yeah, it's a great film. It was also interesting. Like I'll go back. I'm gonna go to Mike Flanagan after this, but like it's very interesting how like Del Toro like said that he never had a childhood where he was always had the mind of like an adult. He had always like seen things very darkly. So it's fascinating now to think of the fact that every film he goes through, he likes to like he's almost like living through the children's adolescence, which is fascinating. But then going back to like Mike Flanagan, for instance, and the similarities between Del Toro and Mike Flanagan is that a lot of their stories are character driven, and a lot of the time horror is used to like enhance situations where it's very interesting to see it like that. And I think that like horror as a whole works so well when you want to add to things like action adventures. You add horror elements to it, like you get the money, and that's like one of the best adventure films of all time.
Oh, 100%. 100% it is. But you're right, absolutely, that whether you have it as a whether you're just sitting in the horror genre or you're sitting in any kind of other genre and just pulling in elements, because everything should be amalgamation. Nothing is just strictly in one box, right? Even horror, you have romantic elements or comedic elements at times, depending on the kind of show, or dramatic elements, of course. But yeah, they can be really good mechanisms just to drive story and to drive characters, right? Because I mean, what drives you more than fear half the time? Like, so yeah, it's they are both very character driven, and I mean that's always been sort of how I've approached this. Of I think of a lot of my one shots as films or my campaigns as seasons almost, because it helps me frame things, just because my background or where I've come from is a love of film and TV. I love books as well. You can see many behind me, but if you're watching this anyway, but film and TV really has been like a huge influence on my life. And so I've always wanted to bring those elements in, and particularly the character bit, because the party that you have, however they're made up of, or however many people are in it, they're the main characters. That's the point. And so it should be driven by them, their wants, their needs, their fears, their hopes. That's how I approach most things anyway. So yeah, I can see massive parallels between their influences, the way that they tell stories, and the way that I like to tell campaigns, or at least hope it comes across how I like to tell campaigns.
Yeah, obviously. And, I think we can all learn from whether we watch or whether we enjoy to just ask the question to ourselves of like, what is it that we liked about this, and how can I tell a story in that way? I think that's very important if you ever want to tell a story. For example, if we compare for example, I'm not someone who watches a lot of live streams, and that doesn't mean that it's not a very good platform for people to work on. And there are people who very much enjoy it. But, I think so, as a creator for myself, I feel like I enjoy listening to one shots. I enjoy people doing these interviews. So then me making this content, in a sense, is just me making something that I would enjoy myself. And I think people should do that with their lives, and sort of like, what am I doing that I would do? What kind of content would I be making I would enjoy watching, instead of what's popular, I guess.
Yeah. I completely agree with you. I think particularly that what's popular, the thing is, popularity will fade, right? Things will be popular for 5-10 minutes, or in the sort of world of particularly social media that moves so quickly, and it is great, and there's nothing wrong with the things that are popular, but if you're doing things just because of that and not from a place of deep love and admiration for what you're doing and what you want to create, then you'll lose interest, naturally, or it'll be fleeting to a degree. And if you want to do things long term, and I mean, we both know, and many others that are listening or have been on it will know how hard it is to break into industries, no matter what industry it is, and break into this when there's a lot of people out there making things now. So you want something wholly original and wholly yours, and to take inspiration where you can from things. And I think for me as a GM, and it's only the way I approach it, it won't be for everyone, but I've always come from a place of, one, I love research and I love storytelling, regardless of the format it's in. So, but I always think that I can learn and grow as a storyteller by, in some ways, taking in as much as possible. So watching, different APs when I get the chance to. There's a few that I will religiously watch, but there's some that I will sort of dip in and out of just to see how GMs do different things. Watching various TV shows or films, which I do anyway, but to take on how do they tell this kind of story element? What could I take from this? And the same with books as well. I'm a big reader as well, but how people world build in their books, or how people create tension over in a format where you can't visualize, or some people can really well visualize what's going on, but you're not seeing something in front of you, which kind of harks to actual play sometimes, because a lot of the time they can be theatre of the mind, or you've got maps for a brief moment but not the entire time, so you're having to describe and create a world that people can visualize. It doesn't have to be in the same way you visualize it, because we all see things differently, and that's the beauty of this. The audience should also be like another party member, really. But it just, for me, all of that and keeping all of that in mind creates a busy mind, but also I think helps being a storyteller, because you have a lot of inspiration to draw on, I think, at the end of the day.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think the best forms of stories are ones where it's like, I watched this movie, I wish it had more of this, and I want to see more of this that hasn't been discussed or haven't been touched. If you see something that you want to see, then make it. That's all. That's simple as it is. Well, it's not that simple, to be fair, but
you still have to go find the people who'll do it and what have you. But you are right, though. If there's something that you really want to see and something disappointed you, you can use that in the future. So if you're a GM listening and you were disappointed with, so a recent one for me in terms of something I was a little bit disappointed with, and people can throw hate at me if they want, but I wish the battle at the end of Stranger Things was longer. Had a bit more to it, was a little bit more epic. Though I have also been that DM who has prepped this really big BBG, right? And then everyone rolls really well, and you're like, oh, I guess he's dead in a couple of rounds. But all I did from that was go, okay, I liked it as a whole. Was a bit disappointed this wasn't longer. Actually, if I was making this myself, or to take into D&D games, if I'm a player, sometimes I feel disappointed if like fights aren't quite that way, or what are the things that I could do? How would I make it differently so I know when I'm prepping a battle with my BBG? Actually, when I watched Stranger Things, it was missing X, Y, Z. Oh, I can pull those in then, can't I? I can use that. It's inspirational at the end of the day, right? Like you say, whether it's bad or good, or criticisms or things you love about stuff, you just got to take everything you can, really.
Mm-hmm. And just don't rage about it to everyone.
Yeah, don't rage on the internet. Don't email the creators of the show that you're extremely disappointed with their life's work. Maybe let's leave people alone.
I would say with the end of Stranger Things, people will critique it about being like it's very safe, it's not that great, but like at the end of the day, I felt like I had nothing else to say about it. Where it was like it ended in the position where it's like awesome, cool, now I can continue on with my life, and I think that's how we should hope every series should end, where it's like,
oh, absolutely,
we're not too upset, but it does mark a new chapter in storytelling nowadays, just to have this end, and now the question is what's next to come,
I can't wait to find out what's next to come. I'm sure it'll be something that will take over my life for a short period of time. But I agree. I mean, overall, I was quite happy with the ending. I like the mirroring of the sort of beginning and the end and all of those aspects. So there was a lot that was good about it, and two things could be true at once, that you could be disappointed with one aspect, but actually think overall it was a good piece of work.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
My money's on A Knight's Tale of the Seven Kingdoms. Is probably going to be... It's likely going to be like the next big thing. Like House of Dragon is just going to...
Yeah.
But,
I could see that.
It's something that we were missing in Game of Thrones. We were like a two-person character driven, like what is their story in not in a political landscape.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I agree with that completely. Yeah, it's I mean, Game of Thrones was epic and it was great, but there are things that we're missing from it, and I think I agree with you. I think that probably will be the next big.
Sure, Duncan the Toll.
We'll take over everybody's social feeds from now till the end. Yeah.
Oh man, I've been playing a Game of Thrones RPG for a while now with my friends.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and I just made them for Christmas. I just made them our house flag that we had created for our game. Yeah.
That's so cool.
Yeah,
I love making anything linked to a campaign. So
it was very like the expressions on their face, because it was first like a piece of cloth. What is it? And then they just saw the flag, and it was just awesome.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
That's epic. I love that. If I need a flag made for my own campaign, I'm going to be coming to you now.
Oh, no.
I'm sure you spent hours toiling over.
No, it was not easy, dude. It's like I had to get lettering done in it. So yeah, we had based our house on Law and Order. And we are like, oh, okay, let's take elements from the TV show Law and Order. So our house is called House Stabler, based off of one of the characters that is named Stabler. We have a guy called Munch, who's our old coot of and it's great. It's like so funny of how like we took something so throwaway and we just made it into like now a year and a half long game of us just like every Monday just going at it and just trying to.
That's so cool.
Is so much fun. Now, a new element of our show is the minigame segment, and today we're going to be blindly ranking different categories from 1 to 4. For example.
Okay.
For example, if the category was food and I said pineapple, you would have to place it on 1, 2, 3, or 4, even though you don't know what the next food is. Once you placed an item, you cannot change it. So if you place pineapple at number 1, and then I said your favorite food, you'd have to rank it below pineapple.
Okay.
All right.
I'm ready.
Is it clear?
Yeah. It is very clear. Crystal
okay. Our first category will be actual plays.
God. Yeah. I'm so sorry to everybody whose actual play is about to get talked about. Go for it.
Yeah. First prompt is, let me see if I'm reading this right. Bard shots.
Oh, number one.
Number one? All right. Putting in number one.
Right? You've got to, right?
All right. I hope you've watched this. I hope you've actually watched this one. I think you have. It's called Smosh Dread.
Yeah, I have watched that.
Yeah.
Oh god, I don't know what's coming next. I'll put it at 3.
Okay, 3. I feel sad. That was a good Smosh Dread's fun.
It was a really good one. It was really good. I'm concerned about what might come up, and I've already put mine at number 1, so I need to live with top spot.
Next one, Dimension 20.
If you end this with Critical Role, I'm going to kill you. But number 2 for Dimension 20. All right. It's one of my absolute favorites.
And your last one out of the list. So Bard Shots is 1. Dimension 20 is 2. Smosh Dread is 3. And your last one is Critical Role.
4, I guess. 4. I've got to, yeah.
So that is your least favorite out of the 4. My apologies.
If you can't tell by all of my Crit Roll merch behind me and on my wall next to me. But yeah, it's number 4, unfortunately.
I swear to God, it was Critical Role. I'm not doing it for the bit. I literally, this was my little tee-hee moment.
I thought it would be. I could just sense it was going to be on the list. Of course, it was going to be on the list when I put mine as number 1.
Listen, you got do yourself right before you can help others.
You gotta be confident on what you're doing, right? I mean, no one's gonna come and watch my show if I'm like, no, I'm
nah, 4.
List, so.
Low D tier.
Yeah, leave it. Don't even put it on the list. Yeah.
All right. Next category is RPG systems.
Okay.
Your first prompt is Daggerheart.
I'm gonna put it at 3.
We can put it at 3. Oh, don't even know what it is.
I love it. Yeah. I don't know what the others are. No.
I've actually never played Daggerheart. I'm not overtly into. Not to say that I don't think it has potential. Just that I haven't had that much interest in it. I know people are going crazy for it right now. It's like.
Yeah, people are going crazy. Yeah. It's good fun. You know, I think that there's some elements that I find are missing from it, but I mean, that's a different podcast. To be fair, we don't need to go into my game design podcast, but yeah. So I'll put it at 3 for now and see what comes up. I'm sure people will come for me for that comment.
Yeah. Next prompt, is Kids on Bikes.
Ooh. I'm gonna put Kids on Bikes at 2.
Ooh, okay.
I love Kids on Bikes. It's also one of the systems that will be coming up in the campaign that we're doing. So,
yeah. Besides Dread, I think Kids on Bikes is certainly the most accessible system you can probably go to. It's so much fun.
Absolutely.
It's like so much you can add to it. I was first discovered Kids on Bikes when I was watching Dimension 20's Misfits and Magic. And
same.
I think it was going Kids on Broobs variation, but it's the same system except you just have an extra magic die to add onto it, which doesn't complicate things too much. And it's just so easily maneuverable.
Yeah, it's not too bad, is it?
It's so you can change it as much as you want. I did a one shot where we did a Pokemon themed game where
that's cool.
Yeah, so we had a system. So it was Kids on Brooms, and the magic die was used when you want to use a Pokemon move. So for example, if you wanted to use Psychic to pick something up, you could add the magic die to it. So
that's a really fun variation. Yeah,
my little nerd
I'm
heart.
excited about that. Yeah, I know that they've done recently kids in capes as well, so you can do a superhero based one, which I am keen to look into. I haven't looked into it yet, but that sounds Kids on Bikes is really good fun, and you're right, really accessible. It's really easy to make a character in that. And that's the hardest thing I think with some TTRPG systems, is just knowing how to make your character. Once you've got a character, a lot of them it's you're telling a story and rolling dice or potentially doing something else to help generate outcomes, right? So but creating the characters is the hardest bit, whereas that you can just pick it up and do it 5 minutes after you've looked at the book, really.
Absolutely. All right, your next prompt is Pathfinder 2nd edition.
Ooh, I'm gonna put it as 4 for me.
Ooh,
I do like Pathfinder though. It is a good and fun system. I haven't played a lot of it though. I think that's probably why I'm putting it at
Right,
4.
right.
The others I've played much more of.
Yeah, I looked at your what was the site called again? It was your start playing profile, and I was looking at like the different systems that you played, and I was like, oh, okay, which ones we got here? We got like Kids on Bikes, but it means your number one spot. You got to put your number one spot now is 10 Candles.
Oh yeah, it would have been anyway. Yeah, great. You threw me off so much with the first one, with Critical being last. I'm like, right, the last one's going to be the thing I need at number 1. 10 Candles is my all-time favorite.
That is an interesting assumption you've made.
It's an interesting assumption. I'm sure I'm going to make an ass of myself for doing that in a minute.
And we'll see. So our final category is horror movies, because we had like a nice little discussion. This is interesting. I hope you've seen some of these. I know you've seen one of them. We talked about one of them. These are all very much classics, and one that is very new and is about to be a classic. All right. First up, John Carpenter's The Thing.
Ooh, oh, God, that's a really tough one. I'm going to go 3.
3, damn.
I do like,
Music, suspense, story.
I know. I feel bad putting it at 3. Mm-hmm. I'm just on edge for what's coming next.
I could have said something stupid like Halloween 3.
Yeah, I'll be like, oh, number 1. Then.
Yeah. Not to say if Halloween 3 is your favorite movie, don't come after me. It's not.
Oh, hey, yeah. You do you guys. Like, you know, this is all subjective, right?
All right. Another prompt. Pan's Labyrinth.
Oh, I mean, I think I'm going to have to say number 1, to be honest, because it's Del Toro. It's what got me into watching Del Toro in the first place.
Completely fair.
Pan's Labyrinth. Probably watched it too young, to be honest. But as I think a lot of us probably did. But yeah, it's one of my absolute favorites. So yeah, I'll put that as number 1 for sure.
Perfect. All right. You have 2. This next one will decide whether one goes to the other, because that's how this game works, apparently. All right. Yep. Next one, The Shining.
I mean, it's a classic, right? Yeah, I think it's got to be 2. I love The Shining so much. Yeah, I think. I'm not saying that, there's a few things wrong with it. I'm not by saying it's infallible in its production quality, but yeah, it's I mean, it's such a classic. I've got to say it as number 2. Yeah, it
certainly has like a production of hell type of. The making of it was 100%. Like terrible, but
yeah.
The outcome's great. So
the outcome of the film's great. Yeah, a lot of the controversy surrounding it not so good, but it's a classic.
All right, which means your last pick will inevitably be 4. So your last one is Sinners.
Okay. I mean, I loved Sinners. I would have put it higher if I'd have known it was coming last. But still, I mean, hey.
All right, so Sinners is your least favorite horror movie. I understand,
Absolutely. Of all time, yeah. Absolutely awful, though. An incredible story.
Sinners is amazing. I think like it would have functioned even if there wasn't vampires. It's such a good story where it's like, it's fine as it is. Like, it's okay that you didn't introduce them earlier on. It's like, it's so well character driven. The music is so fucking good. And
honestly, and the acting is phenomenal in it. I was so impressed. I mean, I love the actors in it anyway, but it was so good.
I'd say the only problem I have with Sinners is just the concept of the hive mind didn't really like play out so well. It's unfortunate.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
It's like, so I know that you're not supposed to like the Irish actor. Excuse me, I'm someone who's terrible with names, but you're supposed to be like the current hive mind right now, but like that doesn't necessarily matter because everyone else is the hive mind. So it's like, and then like Stack has just then distanced himself from the hive mind from emotional, like, I'm not gonna, it's not essentially foolproof, but it doesn't need to be. I think it's a great story nonetheless, and I think you can enjoy it without having to pick at things.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. I had the same thought when I watched it about the hive mind, and it was a little bit like, oh, okay, fair enough. I mean, if that's the direction you're taking, that's the direction you're taking. Okay, cool. But like, story phenomenal, acting phenomenal, music. I mean, God, I'm a sucker for a soundtrack of a of a film, so it was been on repeat since I've watched it, really. But no, it was really good. But yeah, for the hive mind, that's why I put it at 4, not because it was last on the list.
Awesome. All right. We are nearing the end as I see my bus in the horizon. Thank you so much for taking the time to chat with me. You can take this time to shout out any upcoming projects or series you guys are working on.
Cool. Yeah. I mean, firstly, thank you for having me. It's been an absolute pleasure. Yeah. I mean, come follow me on social media. Instagram's where I post most of my content. So at Nomadic Bard 93. Come and watch Bard Shots. We've got probably by the time this goes out, we'll have probably released our Force of Extinction one shot that we did with the co-creator of the game. So I had to GM to the person that created the game, which was crazy. But that's done by 12 Sided Studios over in the UK. They've got a Kickstarter coming up, so do check that out when that's around. But we've got that coming up over in February. We're doing our 2-player game is The Time We Have, which is a quite emotionally heartbreaking game about siblings as one's infected and they are having a conversation in the last few days of that person's life. As I say that I was going to do less horror in this game. And then we are also playing What Haunts Us, which is a game by Innocent Goblin TTRPGs, all about being paranormal investigators investigating a spooky encounter and seeing what happens from that. So please check them out. Keep a watch out on our socials for anything else we've got up and coming. And yeah, you can watch previous Bard Shots as well on YouTube, catch them on Spotify, and wherever else you want to get your content, really.
All right, sounds good. I hope everyone enjoyed this episode. To those who didn't, don't care. Gonna keep doing this anyway. But yeah. Thanks again, Luke. We'll see everyone else on the next episode. Bye.
Bye.